around the city, and it was awesome. You guys did a great job. Who jumped in and participated in that? Got a lot of great things done, and it just man, it just is awesome to be able to just serve our city. So thank you for participating in that. One of the things that came out of that, I want to draw your attention to. On the back table, we have what we call essential packs. So one of the groups put those together, and those are for you to take and keep with you. Keep it in your car, and if you run into somebody that's in need, you can hand this to them. So it has some water, some snacks, but it has toothbrush and just some essentials for them to have help meet their needs. So take one, keep it in your car. You run into somebody in need, you are ready to roll, and you can hand that to them and bless them. So grab one of those on your way out. But then last Sunday night we got together and we do our vision night. So we talk about kind of what God's done the previous year, kind of where He's taken us. And I want to just take a few minutes. I'm going to try to do this shorter than I did last service, and just go over very briefly the things that we talked about last Sunday night. If you got this on your way in, pull that out. This is kind of our mission statement. And I want to just go over it real quick. This is nothing. It's not new. This is the same as we had last year, but I like I said, I feel like we're kind of just getting the hang of it, and we got to just keep it in front of us. We got to keep working at it. And the mission of our church, the mission of Venture Christian Church, is to reach the world for Jesus, one person at a time, by making biblical disciples through relational environments. So we want to reach the world for Jesus, one person at a time. Our strategy for doing that is to make disciples. How do we know if we're doing that well? How do we know if we are succeeding at our mission of making disciples? Well, we got to define what a disciple is, and we do that out of Matthew 4:19. That is on this. A disciple is one who follows Christ, is changed by Christ, and is committed to Christ's mission. And we take that from Jesus' words out of Matthew 4:19. And so if we're seeing that happen, if we're seeing people come follow Christ, if we're seeing people being changed by Christ, if we're seeing people committed to Christ's mission more and more, then we're succeeding at our mission. So you got to try to measure. You got to measure a goal. You got to have some measurables, and these aren't the only way to measure success, but it is one way. And so we want to take a look at those one way. And if you look at the little baseball diamond, kind of looks like a base because we love baseball around here, right? Spring training, spring is in the air. Anyway, I don't have time to go into baseball this time. But in following Christ, one of the measurables is baptism right there. So if we are bringing people into a relationship with Christ and people are beginning to follow Christ, one of the ways we can measure that is more and more people getting baptized. And so we looked at, okay, how many people we baptized. Last year in 2016, only 5 baptisms, which was kind of a bummer because we we're not huge, but we baptized. Our average for the last 13 years is 18 baptisms a year, which is about one every 3 weeks, actually a little less than 3 weeks, which I think is pretty exciting. Wouldn't it be cool if just every 2 to 3 weeks we had a baptism? That would be really cool if we saw people like that coming to Christ. But only 5, that's at a 10-year low. So you know what? We need to take that as motivation. We got to step up our game. We got to get out there and reach some more people. The next kind of measurable of being changed by Christ is life group. How are we doing with our life groups? That we've made a big emphasis on this. How's it going? Well, I'll tell you, our life groups are up. The number of life groups are up 33%. That's good news. We've done well, and we've made a strong push for that. But that's an area where we are succeeding at our mission. We're getting more and more people into relational environments. We got to keep pushing it and keep doing that because that's really important, and we will continue to do so. But we're doing pretty well there. Another way to measure life change and whether people are beginning to trust in God, a measurable for that, because I always say that this is where the rubber meets the road in terms of our faith, is our giving. And our giving actually last year was down 16%. It's not, we're not in dire straits at this point. So I'm not like firing off, the danger flare here or anything, but I am saying we need to bring that back up. We need to work on that. We need to ask ourselves what God's challenging us to give, and we need to increase our giving. That's an area where we want to grow. And then in speaking about Committed to Christ's mission, we got ministry teams. We do have lots of people serving, and we need more people to contribute and serve towards the mission. But that last leg about disciple, there's that home plate, which is bring someone with you. And how we doing with bringing people with us to gather together, bringing people with us on Sunday mornings? Well, our attendance actually was exactly the same. We had the same average, so we flatlined. So, I mean, on the one hand, that's not terrible news, but, if we are actually doing a good job of bringing people with us because those people need to know Jesus, then we'll see our attendance begin to grow. And so, again, I hope we take that as a challenge. In fact, based on that, I'm going to throw out 3 challenges to you between now and Easter. Before I do that, I want to say something quick about numbers, because I don't want you to be here and go, oh, all they care about is numbers. No, we care about numbers, number one, as measurables for our success, but also when we talk about numbers of people, we care about numbers the way God cares about numbers. And in Acts chapter 2, when they're talking about the people that were coming to Christ, God put a number on it. He said in Acts chapter 2:41, he said, and 3,000 souls were added to their number that day. So that numbers aren't just numbers to God. Numbers are souls, because that's what God cares about. So when we talk about, hey, we want to reach more people, it's not just so we can go, oh, look, we had to add more chairs to our auditorium, or we needed to expand, and look, we got all these people coming. No, it's because we care about people's souls. We care about more people knowing Jesus, and so those numbers represent souls, and that's why it matters. That's the heart of Christ. That is the mission of Christ, is to seek and save those people who are lost, because that's what's on God's heart, our lost and dying people. And so that needs to be what we care about. So that being said, I've got 3 challenges. And if you need to write these down, write them down, remember them, take these to heart, think about them this week, pray about it, and I'd like you to consider taking these challenges. The first is, would you be willing to bring someone with you to church between now and Easter? Now there's including this week, it was 9 weeks. It was a 9-week challenge. Somewhere in that 9 weeks, would you be willing to bring somebody with you? Where you just say, you know what? I love you. I care about you. There's great things going on at our church. I want you to come hear what's going on. I want you to come and hear what God's doing in my life and what God's doing in our church. And would you be willing to come? And so sometime in the next, between now and Easter, bring someone with you. And then here's challenge number 2. Would you be willing to try out a life group? Would you be willing? Just go once. Just go once. And if you're not going to a life group, just go, all right, I'm going to go. And I'm going to try it out. Because we believe this is the best environment for you to grow as a Christian, is in these relational environments. So would you be willing to, between now and Easter, try out a life group? The information is on the website. There's cards out in the lobby. The third one is this. Would you be willing to tithe? Now, this isn't try it once. This is for the whole 9 weeks, or 8 weeks if you didn't do it today. So between now and Easter, would you be willing to say, I'm going to try giving God 10% of my income? And you might be going, I don't even know how that's possible. How could that even work? Trust me. There's a lot of people who felt exactly the way you did, including me, and you'd be surprised that when you just trust God, He somehow figures out how to do more with 90% than we can do with 100%. And I believe that you will be blessed. I believe so much that you will be blessed if you tithe, that I'm willing to say this. If you, at the end of that time, say, you know what, I don't feel like I was blessed at all by the Lord, we'll give you all your money back for those 8 weeks, 9 weeks. So, because I believe He will. And I've seen that. I've done that challenge before, and it's amazing the stories you begin to hear about how God blesses. Everything from, man, I got this refund check that I wasn't even expecting from my insurance company, to, you know what, nothing like that happened, but somehow we made it, and it just felt so awesome to trust God and to see Him help us make it through, and didn't feel like we had to shut off our electricity or anything. It was awesome how God provided. So anyway, I believe He'll bless you. So those are the 3 challenges. Bring someone with you. Try out a life group. Give 10% for those 9 weeks. And let's see what God does in our church. Let's see what God does in our lives during that time. Sound good? Okay, last thing I want to throw out at you, and I want you to really be praying hard this week. I need all of us. We gotta just all be praying hard this week, because an offer was submitted for the Premier Furniture Store. We've come back around to that as our potential new home. Okay, now that's exciting, and we titled this whole thing Beyond, right? Because we want God to provide something beyond our reach. That's beyond our reach. But it's going to take the hand of God to do it, but let's ask Him to do it, because the last time I checked, God still does miracles. Amen? And we believe that He can do whatever He wants to do, and we're asking Him if He would provide that for us. And so the offer is in, and we just need to pray and that God will move in the heart of that of the owner of that property and say, for some strange reason, I want to accept that offer or whatever. So let's just really be praying about that this week, and we'll keep you updated, and we're going to just see what God does. All right, I still have a sermon to preach, so let's go and take a couple of minutes, greet a few people around you, and then we'll jump into the message.